Hi everyone, it's John Mitchell, and in today's video, we're going to look at motivation strategies. So, if we think back to our previous videos where we looked at the concept of motivation when we were looking at the motivation theories, we're talking about ways to improve the drive a person has to work hard or put in effort towards the achievement of something. So, businesses that have motivated employees, they improve their capacity to achieve their objectives because there's a real positive environment where the employees are driven to work hard. Now, in this video, we're looking at motivation strategies. And with regards to that term strategies, we're referring to specific actions that a business will take or that a manager will implement to achieve an outcome. And so the strategies that are in our study design are performance related pay, career advancement, investment in training, support strategies, and sanction strategies. And so they're the specific actions that a business or manager can take to improve the motivation of their employees. So there are two key knowledge points in this area within our study design. So there's quite a bit to get through. So what we're going to do is we're going to cover this over two videos. And in this video, we're going to cover that first dot point where we're just going to look at each of these strategies and how they can improve motivation or how they can lead to motivation. Then in the next video, we'll look at the next key knowledge dot point, which is where we look at the advantages and disadvantages of each strategy as well as their effect on short-term and long-term motivation. So, our first strategy is performance related pay, which is where an employee's pay, or at least some part of their pay, for example, a bonus, is linked to the level of their performance. So, the employee will normally have some form of target that they need to achieve in order to increase the level in which they're paid. And this can improve the motivation of the employees as they're driven to work hard towards that set target in pursuit of receiving a higher level of pay. And there are lots of different ways that the pay can be structured. For example, it could be simply receiving pay increases that the employer receives for hitting certain targets. So the higher target they receive, the more they get paid. Could come in the form of a bonus where the employer receives an extra one off payment for performing well or reaching a particular target. There's commissions, which are where the employer receives a percentage of each sale that they make, or it could even be share plans where the employer receives part ownership in the business for performing well or reaching certain targets. And the next strategy is career advancement, which is where the employee is given the opportunity to take on greater responsibility in the business. And you'll often see that through the use of promotions. So, the opportunity to take on this greater responsibility, well, it can increase the level of motivation an employee has because they know that they have the opportunity of being rewarded for demonstrating the ability to take on this greater responsibility or performing really well in their current role. So, by offering career advancement opportunities to the employees, well, it can help the business retain high quality employees as they are more likely to remain within the business if they know that they have the opportunity of being promoted at some stage. And this can help build a really positive environment where the hard work of employees is valued and rewarded. And the employees that are promoted, well, they're often then motivated to lead and inspire others towards the business objectives and really leading a group of people towards the achievement of those business objectives. Another motivation strategy is investment in training. And this is the process of improving the skills of employees so that they're able to perform their job to a higher level. Now, the development of these skills helps the employees succeed in their current role, which can improve the level of motivation they have, as they're often more excited to then implement the new knowledge and skills that they have. And so, offering training opportunities to employees, well, it's an investment from the business, and that can make the employees feel more valued, knowing that the business is investing in them and can improve the level of motivation that the employees have to therefore give more effort and give back to the business, knowing that the business has actually invested in them. And if the investment in the employee training is ongoing, well, it can continuously improve the skills and knowledge of the employees rather than simply being a one off training event, which is fine and that can improve motivation as well. But if it's ongoing, the business can therefore develop a learning culture where there is continuous investment in the development of the employees, which can lead to even greater motivation over the long term. Next, we have support strategies, which is where the employees are provided the resources they need to perform their role. And that could be that things are going really well for the employee and the business provides them with the required resources to achieve what it is they're setting out to achieve. Or it could be that things aren't going so well for the employee and they're actually having some challenges, whether that be in their work life or life outside of work, and that the business offers them some form of assistance to help improve things within their life. So support can come in many different forms. It could be as straightforward as having managerial support, potentially through having a supportive management style. That way the employees can seek out their managers if they need to, and feel really supported that way. The businesses may offer mentoring programs. That often occurs for new employees where they have a mentor to help them learn the new procedures at their new workplace. However, mentoring programs can also occur for other employees as well, not just new employees. Employees may have access to more resources to allow them to achieve their objectives. That could be more or specific types of employees, or a larger budget, or more time. And some employees may even be offered financial support where they're really struggling. And in the event of employees having difficulty somewhere in their life, many businesses may offer access to counselling. And you may see or hear the term an employee assistance program. That's a sort of a counselling service where the employees have access to counselling that is anonymous and paid for by the business to really get them back on track. So offering support shows the employees that they are valued by the business and have a place to belong. And that improves the motivation for the employees as they're driven to then give back to the business, knowing that the business will support them when required. And finally, we have sanction strategies, and this is where the employees receive some form of penalty or consequences for poor performance or behaviour that breaches the business's policy. So, sanctions set really clear expectations for the employees, particularly if the employee actually receives a sanction, and that also shows the other employees that haven't received a sanction that they should be following the rules of the business and putting in effort towards their objectives. So, some common forms of sanctions can include things like a loss of benefits, a demotion for the employee, or some form of disciplinary action, such as a written warning, which can begin the process of termination should the employee continue to make similar mistakes in the future. So, just to recap, motivation strategies are the specific actions taken by business to increase the level of drive within the employees. And the strategies that are in our study design are performance related pay, career advancement, investment in training, support strategies, and finally, sanction strategies. So, we're going to continue to look at motivation strategies in our next video, because the next key knowledge point in our study design is about the advantages and disadvantages of motivation strategies, as well as their effect on short-term motivation and long-term motivation. And I look forward to seeing you then. But until then, just remember that for questions, activities, and help in your VCE journey, then come on over to teachingbubble.com.